My name is Carlton Cartwright. I'm the Executive Director for Veterans Memorial and Multicultural Histories Incorporated. And today is February the 11th. It is Tuesday, and the year is 2025. We're here at Riviera Beach Preparatory Achievement Academy, and I have four of my students with me. I've got Kanar, I've got Andrea, I've got Quenisha, and I also have Tyrell, and another one coming in the door. Okay, and sir, what is your name?
Michael Burton.
Okay, and what branch of the service were you in?
I was U.S. Army.
Why did you choose that branch?
I chose that branch. I was post-college, so I didn't want to join the Marines. I played football in college, so
I see.
I did my time as a grunt. So I want to go.
Big guy. What were you doing before you went into service? Where were you?
So I was in upstate New York. I had just graduated college. I played 4 years there. Football, I had a great career, and really didn't have a direction yet on what I wanted to do. I knew I didn't want to grow up yet. I wanted to see the world.
Right.
So,
How old were you when you went into service, and what year was that?
21, 2001.
Mm-hmm. When is your birthday, by the way?
5976.
And what city and state do you live in right now?
I live in Delray Beach, Florida.
Okay, nice. Okay, were you drafted or enlisted?
I chose to go enlisted.
And what year was that again?
February 8th, 2001.
Gotcha. Okay, where was basic training?
South Carolina, Fort Jackson.
Okay, and how long was basic training?
3 months for that, and then AIT was in Fort Sill, Oklahoma. I did that for, I think that was 8 weeks.
Okay. Oklahoma, huh? What time of year was that in Oklahoma?
It was the wrong time of year. It was the summer.
Cold. It was cold, wasn't it? Wow. Yeah. Okay. So tell us about what was basic training like? You know.
It was hot. It was challenging. I got pushed in a lot of different levels as far as for leadership skills, and it was my first time out of the state, and it was definitely challenging as far as meeting interpersonnel and being on my own.
Were there any injuries that you know of? Any casualties there in basic training?
No casualties.
And tech school was where?
Fort Sill, Oklahoma.
In Oklahoma. So how long was tech school?
That was about 8 weeks.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm sorry.
That's right.
Okay. So where was your first duty base?
Babenhausen, Germany.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. And how long was your tour?
I was there for, it got extended for about 4.5 years.
Mm-hmm.
I joined nine months before 9/11, so that kind of curtailed my military career in a different direction. So I ended up going to Iraq. We were the first ones over to breach the berm, March 23rd, 2003.
By the way, what rank were you when you finally separated?
I was E4. Went in E4, left E4.
Okay.
I wanted to go OCS, Officer Candidate School.
Right.
My two uncles were Marines, and they went that path too, enlisted to OCS. So I wanted to kind of follow that same path. And I went to the OCS board, passed a week before 9/11 happened. And then 9/11 happened, and everything got paused. We went down to Babenhausen to pull guard. I became a soldier, in its truest sense, for the next year and a half.
Okay. So your entire tour, you were stationed in Germany.
I was stationed in Germany my entire
But you
tour.
deployed?
We deployed.
To
yes.
where?
To initially to Kuwait in February, beginning of February. Stationed there, got ready there in Camp New York in Kuwait, and getting ready to launch into Iraq. And so we left Iraq. We were into Iraq March 23rd.
Okay. How long were you there in Kuwait?
I was at Kuwait.
Oh, you said Iraq.
Yeah. So Kuwait, I was there for a month and a half. We were
Uh-huh.
staging to see when we were going to breach, and then we ended up breaching March 23rd. I was in Iraq for about a year and a half. We went through Kuwait up into Iraq to Nasiriyah, Najaf, Karbala, and then all the way up into Baghdad within the first month and a half.
The one thing I didn't ask you is what was your AIT school? What did you?
So I was a FATAD system. It was MLRS, multiple launching rocket systems. It was a computer system. It was field artillery. And we shot rockets downrange. Called it Steel Rain. It got its name in Desert Storm.
So you engaged, you're a combat veteran.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And I'm sorry about the repetition, but how long were you in Iraq?
Year and a half.
Year and a half.
Yeah.
Casualties?
Yeah, there were casualties.
People got hurt in your unit? How large was your unit?
That's a great question. There were 4 battalions. It was pretty large. It was one of the largest ones. We were right behind 5th Corps.
How many people are in a battalion? I'm trying to share this information with them.
Yeah, I would say
roughly a couple hundred. What?
A couple hundred in each battalion.
And you said 5?
There were 4.
4 of them?
Yeah. So I was
2,000.
I became my lieutenant commander's driver for the breach into the berm. So I got to see a lot from an eagle-eye view.
Okay, do me a favor. Explain what the term breach means in military.
Breaching is you're basically insurging into another country forcefully, without their will. So we breached into Iraq. We went the first 4 days. I don't think I had any sleep whatsoever, and we got into the first stage, which is Nasiriyah, into the first city, and from there, you know, we kind of took a picture to see where we wanted to go next.
How did you handle the stress and the pressure?
It's a great question. You know, one day at a time, 1 second at a time, 1 foot in front of the other. Perspective, reading at night. It was adrenaline filled. I was young too, so that helps, you know. But again, another thing too is camaraderie, being down the people next to you. We're all going through the same thing, so.
Did you have any problems staying in touch with your family? Throughout your whole service career, throughout the 6-7 years that you were in?
No, I mean, not before I went to Iraq, but then when this is before internet and everything like that.
Right.
So emails, letters, got letters.
You get to call once in a while? No?
Rarely.
Rarely.
From what I remember.
Gotcha.
But it wasn't an issue at the time.
I hear you. Okay, did you get any R&R while you were in Iraq?
No.
No break at all?
I mean, when we had the time, we stayed, so once we got into Baghdad and, you know, mission was accomplished in May, we started to settle into some of Saddam's palaces or estates.
Saddam Hussein?
Yeah, Saddam Hussein. So we were, you know, when his statue fell, I don't know if everyone remembers that, in the main Baghdad, I was there, and then we ended up going into all of his estates and staying in his actual palace, which was very interesting.
In the meantime, Ariane just came in. Do any of my students have any questions up to this point?
Yeah. Okay.
Fire away.
You say the 9/11 happened, right?
Yeah.
You was the first to go to Iraq, like
Yeah.
one of the first ones.
Yeah.
What'd you like feel about having that experience?
You know, I was scared out of my mind. I thought, you know, at the time when we were first going into Iraq, weapons of mass destruction was a very for real thing. So I had tremendous trepidation about going in. I thought I wasn't coming back. I thought, this is my path, this is what I chose, and here we go. And so I was extremely scared. Yeah, you know. I didn't think I was going to come back to the States ever. So did I think, oops, I made a mistake? Maybe, but I'm so glad I did it.
Were you ever a prisoner of war?
No,
Great. Any of your friends?
not that I know of.
Comrade? Yeah, okay. How'd you get along in general with enlisted and officers? How'd you-
Great.
Good?
Great, yeah, absolutely.
How was the food throughout the service? How was the food?
I mean, it was manageable. Yeah, MREs, learn to love them. You know, you learn to love it.
While you were stationed in Europe,
Yeah,
did you get to travel around Europe?
yes, I did.
Where'd you go?
Everywhere.
Call out some of the countries.
I've been to Paris, France. I've been to Prague. I've been to the French Riviera. Been to Rome, Venice, Barcelona, Amsterdam, Belgium, Poland, all over Germany, into Switzerland, Interlaken, the Italian Alps, the Swiss Alps. It was very cool.
Did you get any R&R in Kuwait?
No,
Yourself?
none in
No?
Kuwait.
Just-
Once we get to Kuwait, it was all business.
Yeah, okay.
All them places that you went, was you being stationed there or you were just traveling?
I traveled. When we had time off,
Right.
that's what I did. When I had 3 days off, 4 days off, we rented a vehicle, a car, and we traveled. Or you could take the Habenhof, which is like the Bright Line, the train system,
Yeah.
and we would go to all these awesome places. So it was great education.
What was the most time you've ever had off?
While I was in the military.
Yeah.
I think I took a week off, a week and a half off. I went to Costa Brava, Spain, which is just north of Barcelona. Went into Barcelona, went into Costa Brava, and went into the French Riviera too, Monaco, Nice, Cannes, all around the Mediterranean. And that was a great time.
Do you feel like you had all the supplies that you needed while you were in the service?
For the most part, not to get too controversial, but when we were a field artillery unit, so we had soft Humvees, we had equipment that was made for field artillery, more in the rear. But when we got mission accomplished, we started doing other missions that were more tip of the spear. So like we did Joint Visitors Bureau, where we would pick up dignitaries from the BIOP, Baghdad International Airport, bring them to the CPA, Coalition Provisional Alliance, with Paul Brenner. So we would pick up Hillary Clinton, Colin Powell, all these
Really?
high-level dignitaries. But we had soft Humvees. We didn't have the proper equipment that was made for that type of mission. But we made do, and we did fine.
You still got the job done,
Yes, we did.
right? Okay, tell me 2 of your most memorable experiences being in the military. I don't care if it was basic training or wherever you were stationed.
Okay, all right. Military related?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes and no. I mean, if you're overseas and you like on R&R, fine, or, while you're engaging.
Traveling Europe was amazing. Listen, this sounds weird, but I loved getting up for PT in the mornings, especially in Germany. It was beautiful. It was good. I like to get up early and work out. So that as a unit was a lot of fun. I look back fondly of that. And then being in, probably coming back from Iraq, being in the international airport, sitting there, realizing what had just happened, what I had just done, that I was leaving, that I was going home, was pretty remarkable.
Tell us about your awards and citations.
I don't remember.
Some of them, you got it.
Service awards, serving in operation.
You never got hit,
Iraqi
so you don't
freedom.
have a Purple Heart.
I don't have purple. I
Gotcha.
never got hit. Yeah. So, that's fine.
Okay.
Cool with that.
Gotcha. No, not a problem. I totally get that. Yeah. Were you ever part of battle planning?
Not officially.
Okay. But within your group?
Yeah, I worked with the lieutenant.
You all probably worked together, right?
He was the head guy, so I worked with him, and we talked, but nothing official.
Okay. Anybody else got any more questions? I got more stuff.
Yeah, I got some.
Go ahead.
Was the women, which state had the best looking women?
Oh, which country?
Yeah,
Portugal.
Portugal.
Yes, sir.
Now, can we get back to business? Please, now that we're done with Kanar.
Great question.
Good. I'll encourage him, please. Okay, have you maintained any of your close friendships from the military?
Yeah, I have. I have. It's. I'm gonna say just yes, I have, but not around here, but all over the place.
You still stay in touch?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice. Did you use your GI Bill for anything?
I did. I used my JED to pursue my MBA when I got out.
You
My MBA, Masters in Business Association.
got it.
for
Got it.
healthcare.
We're going to get to that in a minute also. Thank you. And so anyway, when you got out of the service, what did you do?
I'm from upstate New York, which is Syracuse. There's really not much going on up there. So I just packed up all my stuff in my car and I drove down to Florida and said, I'm gonna figure it out. I was a combat vet. I played college football. I was like, I have a story. Let's make something happen. So I drove down to Jacksonville and ended up getting a job in the medical device world, which is where I'm in now.
That's what you do. How long you been doing that?
Medical device, I've been doing it for 20 years.
What kind of medical devices? What is that?
I've done all sorts of I started off in CMF, which is cranial maxillofacial, plates and screws for your face. When you have fractures, they put plates and screws in your face. Then I got into spine, which is for spinal fusion. And then I found my way into disruptive innovation. So I help launch new products that are kind of novel to the market in the United States or even in the world. So I've done robotic spinal systems, I've done regenerative tissue, I've done spray-on skin, and now I'm doing a new endoscopic approach to spine surgery.
What kind of advice do you have for my students as far as the military as a career is concerned?
I think the military was amazing. It was amazing for me. It gives you a sense of purpose, gives you a sense of belonging to this country. It gives you a lot of self-respect, gives you discipline, and discipline is freedom.
Did you keep a diary?
Did I keep a diary?
Yeah.
No.
No.
I didn't keep a diary. Yeah.
Anybody else got any questions?
I do.
Go ahead, Quenisha.
Were there any like bad moments that you had in military that made you like want to leave or rethink anything?
Well, Iraq?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was. I mean, want to leave? There's been moments of childlike fear, right? That's real fear. That's like, I want my mommy fear. And there are a couple instances of those, that I had, going into this small town, and you could hear the mosque, and you could hear the Islamic, prayer, and there were, 3 huge trucks coming at us at top speed with guns, and I just remember seeing them like, holy, this is happening. And so moments like that was very scary.
Hold on.
Hmm?
So what happened?
What?
Explain that
We just, we took care of it.
How you took care of it, you gotta explain into detail.
Yeah, we just, there were MPs that came around us and flanked through, and they took care of them. There's a battle. There's a fighting battle that happened.
What's the worst battle you've seen?
The worst battle I've seen.
Or been in?
There's a couple, in Sadar City, which is right down in Baghdad. We also did this thing called Task Force Bullet, where we would go to different caches, ammo caches within Baghdad. We would purge all the ammo and bring it back to Dogwood, which is where our base was, and then release the ammo. And we would, fire it off, so they were inopt. And so going through Sadar City was really tough. It was a really hard neighborhood. And so driving through there, there were kids throwing rocks, but we didn't know they were rocks, they could be anything. So I didn't personally, but, you've seen some of them get shot or, get taken care of, and that was hard to see. That kind of sticks with you. Yeah.
How old were the kids?
Oh, God, I don't know.
10, 12?
10 and up, maybe 9 and up. Yeah, it was tough.
Okay. So you said you used your GI Bill
Yeah.
for a home, education. You said your MBA.
Yeah,
Right.
I used my GI Bill for my home, which is invaluable,
Right.
or for my MBA. I think I said that right. My GI Bill for my MBA.
Right.
In healthcare administration for my MBA, and then the VA loan is amazing for buying houses. I just bought a house here in Delray with my VA loan.
Okay. Congratulations. Good for you. Good for you. Anybody else got questions? I have a few more. All right, so did your military experience influence your thinking about war or about the military in general?
Yeah, for sure.
How?
Can't help not to.
How?
Well, first of all, war, the way we commercialize it on TV, is not that. War is very serious, and it's destructive on all levels, on both sides of the lines. It is a very ugly evil that we should all avoid, I believe. But sometimes a necessary evil, which I understand that as well.
Again, going back to traveling, and thank you for sharing all of this.
Yeah.
Between now and then, every place that you travel that you haven't mentioned, have you been around the United States, all the way?
We mean all the way around the United States?
Well, I mean, how many states have you hit out of the 50?
I was just last year, I was in California. I rode the PCH, Pacific Coast Highway, from San Diego to Big Sur on a Harley. That was pretty badass.
PCH, Pacific Coast Highway. Got it.
And then all through Arizona and through Death Valley. I do think one of the things that the military has given me is a sense of adventure. I think facing your fears is a beautiful thing. On the other side of fear is freedom.
Right.
Always, whatever fear you have, face it.
Gotcha. Do you belong to any military organizations now?
No, I really don't.
Okay.
I would like to.
Oh, well,
We talked about
you
it.
talk about that, yeah, sure. How did your service and experiences affect your life?
Yeah, I think I got a great education in college, but I learned about life in the military. I learned that, in college, it's all about being intelligent, right? High school's all about, well, I learned in the military, intelligence is a myth, competence is real. How competent are you? How well can you move forward in the world, Don't trip over degrees or rank, Believe in yourself, believe in your capabilities. And don't let that, especially because I went enlisted coming from college, that was quite a difference for me. So I believe in discipline, as I said earlier. Discipline is totally freedom, and selfless service. Serve others. Learn how to serve.
Did you meet? Well, apparently you worked alongside women, right? Were
Yes.
there women in your unit?
Yeah.
Well,
Well, not a lot.
okay.
Not as much as Air Force.
Okay.
Screw it up.
And their capability?
Yeah.
How capable were they doing their jobs?
Again, I'll go back to this, whether it be women, ethnicity, I don't care. When you're in the foxhole with somebody,
Right.
It's about competence. It's about how competent they are. Everything else goes away, especially when your life is
On the line.
Is on the line. So, women were just as capable as men in the roles that they played.
Right.
I was not in combat with females, so, I can't speak to that.
Gotcha.
But
I want to go back to that, what you mentioned about you picked up all of this ordnance
yeah.
and you took it back to the
Dog-
unit, I guess?
Yeah.
And you dispensed it, I guess?
Yeah,
Okay.
yep.
What kind of ordnance?
155 rounds.
What
With big, like
it's like a bomb.
like bombs, big rockets, RPG rockets. Actually, one story real quick is that it caught on fire in Dogwood because it was so hot, and we were outside of where this was, and all the ammunition started going off. So we had RPGs flying by our head and all that. So that was pretty wild.
A little dangerous, wasn't
A little
it?
dangerous. Yeah.
Anybody get hurt? I hope
No one
not.
got hurt, thank God. No one got
Okay,
hurt.
good,
Yeah.
good. Questions again? Tyrell, anybody? Ariane? Andrea?
Was religion big in the military?
Was religion big in the military? Yeah, it was, right? God, country. There was prayer available. There was always a chaplain available.
Right,
I knew
yeah.
my chaplain.
The officers, actually, right? They
Yeah,
were always
there
officers.
was always a
chaplains.
chaplain available, and then there were many men that were very pious and would pray in the morning, and so that was available. That was a venue for a lot of people.
As far as I can remember, when you basically stationed somewhere, you pretty much provided with as much, I'll say, comforts of home,
Yeah.
as much as possible, to an extent. If you're remote, like he was probably remote out in the desert, right?
Yeah.
Okay, it's like, they would have a certain number of amenities that would make you feel like, you're back home, like having a chaplain, like serving food, like, you know, having 3 meals, the MREs, but still, you know, some place for you to generally basically be able to, you know, clean yourself up, you know, keep yourself clean, wash your clothes, you know what I mean? So it was a much, I take it as much of a human touch
Yeah,
as
for sure.
possible. We
Yeah.
had people deploy a communications group all the time, and they had tents and the whole 9 yards, but
Yeah.
pretty much when they got set up out in the field, it was somewhat like home.
Yeah, for sure. You know, you're gonna have the you're gonna have the opportunity to stay clean. That's for health. That's for the good of everybody. You know, and you've always had, like, if you wanted books to read or magazines or chaplain, like they'll find a way for you to stay, you know, mentally and physically healthy.
Nice.
I got a question.
Go ahead.
So like, what y'all be doing like when y'all got y'all off days? Like y'all be going to clubs or y'all be going like to bars?
Where was it, when we were in Iraq or when we were in Germany?
So according where you are.
in Germany.
Germany, yeah, there were, you know, everyone had their own little, let's put it this way, there were opportunities to go to clubs, there were opportunities to go to bars, there were opportunities to go play sports, but, you know, when guys had time off, they definitely went to some
Have some
clubs, and yeah, especially in Germany.
So in between that job, you had the ability to have fun, right?
Absolutely.
There you go. I want to thank you for your service,
Yeah, thank
and I want to thank you for a great interview.
you. Thank you. Appreciate
Okay,
it.
and we just need to get a group photo.